Erika.
And this is Sherry.
And this is
Generation
Conversation. We're old school meets
new school. Where old school beats new school.
No.
Let's get it.
Welcome. So actually it is kind of a win or lose thing today. Our episode is called Battle of the Sexes.
What?
And we have some very special guest stars in the building. We have Justin.
Yes.
And Paran, Uncle Paran to me. So tell us a little bit about yourselves, guys.
I'm Justin. I've known Miss Sherry and Erika for 20 plus years now. We've been neighbors for 20 plus years.
It's a long time.
So, it's an honor to be here on Generation Conversation for the first time.
Welcome.
And I'm Uncle Paran. I've known Sherry for almost 30 years.
Woo!
Ooh, yeah.
Lord have mercy.
And I recall when she told me Erika was in the belly.
A long time.
That's a long time.
Yes, so we got a touch of old school and a touch of new school.
But we got double dose of males.
Yes.
Because it's called Battle of the Sexes, where we're tapping into generational differences and the differences in genders.
Exactly.
So that'll be interesting. We're going to cover a wide range of topics. They're going to give us their views. We're going to give us our views from the female perspective. So let's get into it.
Let's go.
So a common topic among females and males is communication.
Or the lack thereof.
Yes. As a female, I feel like men suck at communication.
Mm-hmm.
And they
No, and that's true. And it's okay. If you guys agree.
Just
you
start
don't
off, huh?
Let me put a disclaimer. I forgot my disclaimer. We don't mean any harm. I mean, people will get offended regardless, but this is just straight up. I mean, this is the real. If you've been listening to Generation Conversation, you know how we get down. We just keeping it real, but we're open in perspectives.
Right. And we will tell you if you say something and you've proven us wrong, or you made a good point, we will acknowledge that.
Right. You talking about Erika?
Yes, I will.
Man,
I will try
set up here.
I try my hardest to. Okay, so yes, like I said, I feel like men aren't the best communicators. And I don't know really why. So hopefully,
But why do you feel that way? I mean, it's a reason why. Is it based on your past experiences?
yes, and then I grew up around a bunch of men, boys, and they just don't communicate either how they're feeling or like what they're about to do. As simple as that.
I think they take a lot of things. They just think a lot of things. They just assume that you know, or you should know what they're thinking, how they're feeling, and things like that. And I think
Do you agree with
that whoa.
I tell
It is no way that you're going to tell me that men are good communicators. Now, I'm sure there are some men that are good communicators.
Okay, wait. Part of communicating, Mom, is letting other people talk. Let them talk real quick.
I'm gonna let you go first.
I feel it's a communication style. And I feel like it's something I suffer with, communicating with other people, even like my mom included or friends included. But just I think we just have a certain communication style, and I personally feel like sometimes women have a communication style where it feels like you need to be psychic almost, where you need to know.
This is true.
And read with your intuition. She wants you to just be thinking 2 steps ahead of her what she wants to do. But I wouldn't say all men. I think we just take pride in certain communications and what we do and how we do it. I'll let you piggyback on some of that too.
So, me personally, I think communication is really based on the individual and the relationships that you're in. Men in general, right? Me personally, what I think with men do is that I'm not gonna say what men do, but I'm saying with women. Women expect you to know. They want the answer that you want them to have. If I give you, if I say something to you and it's not the right answer.
Right.
Or the right way of presenting that, even though I'm not yelling or screaming or however I communicate, it's not the way they perceive it, or the way they perceive it is not right, then we're bad communicators. And we straightforward, like boom, 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 I'm done. They were like, well, why'd he come that way? What? No,
I think that's the difference
between men and women.
Yeah, the fear of expectation that women have. I think women set a bar, and if you don't, I think as men we already know if we don't do things a certain way that reaches that bar, we might as well not even say anything or do it, regardless, because it doesn't matter. It won't make you happy.
I'm just gonna give y'all the mic and let y'all go ahead and take this show.
That's not the
need your own podcast.
I know. I mean, that's definitely true.
Those are valid.
Those are very valid points. I think that's where the differences are between male and females. The expectation, really, on both. If you think about it, and then we have expectations. When I say we, male and females, that we don't express. You cannot have expectations of people and not express them because they don't know they expect that of you. So I feel like we both fall guilty to that, and communication being one of the biggest ones. What would you have to say about communication, Mike?
I think with men too, Justin touched on this a bit, is about their style of communication. And I do agree that they have a different style of communication. And just because their style is not what we think it should be, we may tend to say they're bad communicators. But one thing is that men are very physical, logical people.
Yeah.
So a lot of their communication is physical, you know, a lot of their the way they decide to show you how they care and all that stuff is very physical. You know, we're emotional creatures. Everything is emotional. We need to hear it, you know, we need to get it in different ways. So I think that's the biggest difference. So I will possibly take back and say that you're not necessarily bad communicators, you're just very different.
You communicate
very differently.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult sometimes because of the way women communicate and the way men communicate for them to come together and actually communicate.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, as far as communication, but then you look at relationships, right? With the different relationships. And I know I read a book, was it about knowing that each individual, I forgot the name of the book, where each person is a different, you gotta know your spouses or your person's
the love languages or
was
something?
it love languages or
Maybe it was love language.
but it has like 8 different, you should know your partners or friends or
Right.
spouse,
Yeah,
what type
probably
of
was
communication.
It's love language.
Right, what type
Right.
of communication that person is, because what I think is maybe communicating may not be a
Right.
symbol for her
Right.
or for you.
Right.
You know, it depends on each individual. It depends on each circle you're in. It depends.
Right.
It has a lot to do with your environment and what you accept and what you're willing to give also.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're not willing to give of yourself or who you truly are, then sometimes the communication is bad.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's
So-
true. It's
What
a
you
lot of
gonna say,
factors.
Justin?
Yeah, I just think, you know, a lot of times we have open lines of communication, right? So just because you're communicating with somebody doesn't mean they're able, you know, kind of they're able to receive the communication that you're giving them. And even in like generational differences, we look at just because we have phones, does that deem an automatic response, right? You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
you guys going back 30 years, like
Right.
in the 90s, you know, it was a beeper. You know what I'm saying? You might have to, you know, it's rare to really see people with cell phones, things like that. So the communication was different.
Right.
And a lot of times, like, you talk to just if you're in relationships with girls or she's active on social media, a lot of communication is you don't have much to talk about, right? Because if she posts her whole day, it's like, oh, how was your day?
Right,
You already know.
How
right.
was your day? It's like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's no mystery to it. So I think a lot of stuff, how we're generationally influenced with cell phones and things of that nature, do we expect communication too often, you know, and too quickly at that, you know what I'm saying? When a lot of people aren't, you know, they're not always available 24/7, or they're not always open to lines of communication.
Right.
And sometimes you kind of invade on people's space and boundaries when you push those lines.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
big.
That's a big, and this, you know, one thing is that what I have to try to remember and keep in mind is that when I call somebody and they don't answer, it's okay.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's okay because, you know, when we were coming up, you know, we didn't answer the phone and we let it go to voicemail and, you know, and it's okay. And that doesn't mean that they're supposed to, because, you know, half the time I know they got the phone in their hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know they saw that I called. So, you know, I take it personal and I shouldn't.
They may just not feel like
But that's,
talking.
that's the difference between
Right.
now and then, and
Right.
with how we've advanced in technology too.
Yeah.
You know,
It is.
because you can put in a page back in the day, you can put 911. I mean, I need to talk to you
Right
now.
now.
Right.
You can put hello. What was
Right.
it?
Yep. Hello.
I mean,
Yep.
you can
43770.
Right. So it was ways that you can communicate, and it's like, okay, they don't really need nothing,
Right.
right?
Right.
But like she mentioned, like I have 2 phones, a
Right.
personal
Me too.
and
I would
Sherry
rather
called
use
me, and prime example, she called me yesterday. I was outside on the lawn. My phone was in the house.
Right.
But, and when I got in, I sat down, had dinner, ate.
Yeah, Piran
When
is not
I'm
attached
horrible.
to his phone.
I hate,
at all.
I hate
At
phones.
all.
Even pay phones. Oh, y'all may not know what pay phones. 25 cents.
Repping for the old school.
Collect calls.
Right.
No, I will say that, like, even with me, I have trouble because I have an Android, right? And, like, I just posted this yesterday. Like, I really have trouble. Like, people, as soon as they find out, oh, you got an Android. And for me, it's cool because like I don't have to worry about people like FaceTiming me or drop your location or do this extra stuff or nothing like that. I'm just serious, but people will really like not talk to you because you have a certain type of phone. You know what I'm saying? And
That's crazy.
Nah, it's not crazy. It's very common out here.
Oh my
Wow.
It's so serious, man. It really put my feelings like they be like disgusted, like Android.
Wow.
They really
It's
do.
a social status.
Yeah,
and so,
it is.
You
It
know.
is. But I mean, at this point, it's a choice because they both be the same price.
Yeah, they
Right.
both, and they both do the same thing
Yeah.
to an extent.
So I used to, I feel like it's, and that show you the type of person they are too, though. Like if they're that
Exactly.
shallow to
Right.
be like,
Right.
okay, I don't want to talk to you
That's
because of
right.
that.
I
You
know.
don't even be talking to that person, no
My
way.
soulmate gonna have an Android right there with me.
Oh my
too.
gosh.
Green
She gonna have a
button
blue,
on.
what's the old phone? BlackBerry or something.
That's
old-
fine. I used to
back
love
up.
the
They
BlackBerry.
coming back out. The
Yeah.
Blackberries come back out.
But I will say too, a thing about communication is what people value that's important to them. Like, just a common example, I'll ask like Kendall or somebody to tell me when they're gonna be somewhere or let me know or they're supposed to meet me somewhere at a certain time and he may be running late or like what it's not important to him. Like he'll get there when he gets there. But I'm like, dude, you should have told me you was running late, like blah blah blah. Like that's important to me, but that could be on the same level with a female too.
Right.
But I feel like men, that distinguishing factor is so much bigger. Like the things y'all find important or don't find important is way different than what women.
Right.
But see, it's communication style because we can take it back to Kendall. I could call Kendall 1,000 times a day. He won't answer the phone. But if I tap him on
DM on
Instagram, he'd be like, "Oh, okay, I got back to you." And I,
Right.
but
Wow.
you gotta learn, like, okay,
Right.
that's
That's
just-
him.
that's
how the
him,
context
and
That's
so-
exactly like the
Yeah.
book.
Right.
You gotta know that person like
You do.
communication.
And then
language.
and then you're right, and communication. That's the thing about communication because you can't communicate one way.
Right.
Because of the different relationships, like you said. So you communicate with your boss this way. You communicate with your family this way. You communicate in your relationship this way. So it's all these levels of communication. That gets complicated.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It does. It can be really complicated.
Do you guys feel like you get burnt out with communication?
Oh
if you
my
like how you communicate?
Yes.
I send my boss 1,000 emails a day. I don't ever want to see email after 5 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to
Yes.
do certain things, or you
It's
text
over
and call.
communicating.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm telling you, and then these Zoom calls. I'm
And
so
meetings.
sick of
Oh.
Zoom meetings and everything. It's just too much communication. It's necessary sometimes, but sometimes it's just too much.
Yeah,
It's too
yeah,
much,
no,
so.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, especially being in healthcare. You have to over communicate because people's lives are on the line. We
Right.
had this, if you haven't listened, it's called Can You Hear Me Now? We talked about communication. Hope y'all will listen to it. But no, like it's exhausting, but it's important because you'll avoid a lot of issues
Right.
if you communicate. A lot of issues really in relationships, men and women. So learning how to communicate, but learning people's styles of communication is very important. So you touched on it, Uncle Paran, relationships. So men and women, that's a very, very broad topic. I'll let y'all have the floor if y'all want to throw something out there about relationships, the difference in relationships between men and women, or the problem that you see the most between men and women. Either
Well, I mean, we really dropped on communication. That's truly the key.
Yeah.
That's the number one issue between men and women relationships. But
Women are from Venus, men are from Mars. That has never been more true.
I just believe, right, in relationships, like you said earlier, Sherry, that men are more logical and women are more. But I believe also that men at a young age are just as sensitive as women until their hearts are broken by that one woman. Then they become more larger and hardened. So once that occurs, no matter how and what environment they come into, the communication is harder because they don't want to give that emotional
they don't want
response,
to right?
because they don't want to feel that way. Now,
Well, some women,
That's
that happens to some women too.
and I agree, but women still,
that's in
more
our
emotion.
nature.
Right, because we're just emotional
and
people.
I think that's where it comes between men and women, because men, you either you soft or you're not soft.
So what is soft? What is considered soft? Because soft and
So-
not soft or tough? Like, what
Well,
do
it
you feel?
depends on what we're talking about. Because if I talk to your auntie and I say I get a manicure, I get my nails done. Back in the day, she used to be like, "That ain't no man. You ain't got no dirt underneath your feet. I'm your mom, not your." But that's what she used to say. I'm like, oh, my hands are soft. And they said, "Brian, you don't do no work." No,
Right.
I just take care of myself, right? That doesn't mean I'm soft. Because there's another situation if somebody come to me and step or mess with any woman or womanize a woman as a man.
Chicago come
It's
out
not,
of them.
it's
Right.
totally different.
Right.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
Then you see a whole different person.
Right.
So soft and hard, it depends on what people define it as.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and you have to figure it out. I don't know from your aspect what's going on in your generation, but
I think for me, more in my generation, I think it's the like the definition of romance, right? You know what I'm saying? And so I think one definition, like I watched Love Jones, and he says like for real, like he says romance. You know, when couples say they're out of romance, they've extended all the possibilities, right? But I look at how my generation glamorizes romance by what they see,
Yes.
and nobody kind of makes their own definition of romance.
Yes.
And so it's just always like a constant comparison. I think a lot of times more with women than men. I think men really don't pay attention to it so much, but women will say, "Well, he took this girl to St. Lucia and proposed to her, buddy. What you gonna do next?" You know what I'm saying? It's just like a constant raising the bar. Or he bought this, you know, lamb truck. You know, I'm not no rapper, but you know what I'm saying. You better show up in this Jag or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's always like, and I feel like as men, we always competing with the next man, or we have a comparison because of what
social media too.
Yeah, what women, you know, what women have romanticizing, you know, this idea of romance that they see online and stuff like that. So I think we run into a lot of that where, you know, men who are trying to get themselves together or may love you in general, but can't compare to a trip to Barbados or anything like that just to propose to you or just, you know, for the fun of it. So, you know, I feel like as men, we're always constantly competing with the next man because of, you know, the next woman, you know what I'm saying, what she sees.
That's a very good point. And when you say that, and I don't even think it's just about romance, it's about people's definition of love. You know, what is it that, and then that's where communication comes in, because you have to communicate that and say, you know, what does love mean to you? You know, what do I have to do to show you that I love you? What do you have to do to show me that you love me? And then once you know all this stuff, I remember a pastor told us one time, before you get married, what you do is you take your little suitcase and you put it on the table. Both of you take your suitcase, put it on the table, you open it up. They have all your expectations in it. You gotta let him know these are my expectations. You gotta let her know these are, you know, your expectations, and then you know from the door, and you just go from there.
So do you feel like as a man, you don't have the room or space to be emotionally vulnerable?
Before or after sex? I mean,
Oh,
that's the truth though. That's the truth. I feel like most men are emotionally vulnerable after sexual intercourse than they are prior.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's like a wall bringing down, like it's a communication after that. So it's also a mental thing as well. So I think most men are probably like, you know, it's like pillow talk. You know, a lot of guys after, you know, it's pillow talk. So I think that's what it ends up being, majority of the time.
I don't even think about it after sex. So being emotional and all that.
You're past that.
I'm past that. I'm older. I mean, truly, I think it depends on the individual and sometimes how they was raised. If they had relationships with women, if they were able to communicate with individuals or women and be open. You truly have to know who you are as a man in order to communicate with anybody, but especially with a woman. And you try to grasp at who they are and what they want to be. Like she said, you got to open up here's what we have. But emotionally, I mean, first of all, you got to love yourself. And if you love yourself, then no matter what you say, you can set your emotions and don't care about what people can say. And I think for a man, we care about what other men think. Because I don't care about what a man thinks. If I cried at Love Jones, I cried Love. You know, but why are you crying?
Like, why aren't you crying?
You didn't feel that? But you have to know yourself,
Yeah.
and you
yeah.
can't compete on what society wants you to be as a man. You got to know who you are. As a man, you got to be a man.
Yeah.
Don't you think that comes with maturity though? Like you wasn't
Yes.
always like that, right?
I'm different.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say because it's a lot of macho men. Like, oh, I ain't crying. I'm like, I'm the man. Like, I shouldn't shed a tear. I gotta take care of my family. I gotta do this. That shows that I'm a man. I have to act the way or feel a way. I can't show weakness or be vulnerable.
But that's
Yeah, I don't feel like that. It's always the persona that it shows that you're a man. It's just that that's what you've grown accustomed to being, right? You know what I'm saying? You've grown accustomed to internalizing, your feelings, your emotions, and basically upon that. Not to say that no one cares about your feelings, but no one's actually really cared about your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cares. Everybody wants to see what you can do to provide, right? You know what I'm saying? I think Chris Rock is the one who says like, only babies and women are loved unconditionally. Men are only loved for what they
can
do. What they can do. So
Mm-hmm.
and when you grow up in a society when everything is based off what you can do, and you got to internalize your emotions and feelings. I mean, that's where you know what I'm saying, you put your emotions to the side to provide and things of that nature. So, that's where I feel like it goes into. It's just that we're not allowed. We haven't been conditioned to be emotionally available, really in society's eyes, and really in a lot of our home structures.
But you also got to think of, this is a question I have, is what about men who grow up with single parent moms and then no man around?
Yeah.
Right.
Are they harder?
Right.
Are they softer?
Right.
I mean, or men who had men in their lives,
Right.
are they harder?
Right,
Are they softer?
right,
It all
right.
depends on what that family value is and what environment you raised in.
Right. And then I think
Because you can be in a city and you can be in the suburbs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it'd be different. Or you can be in the suburbs and want to be a city guy,
Right.
and you don't really know what the city in the suburbs. I mean, it
I'ma say
depends on the
it
environment.
depends on your mom. I mean, you got that tidbit right there. You know what I'm saying? That's it right there on the head.
And then of course there's a layer of a black man.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's a whole nother
That's a whole
layer.
nother layer.
You know what I mean? So you got to take that into account too. So,
Yeah.
Because society views them even more different, and
Right,
they have to
right.
stand up to that too. So.
I think each divide has its basis rooted in society.
Right.
Like every divide, generational, gender, race, society has a strong influence on it in itself.
And I don't like that.
I know, and I feel like, especially for men, like it's hard to get out of that idea that, and I'm only speaking from, of course it's not my experience, what I see going through for other men, and that's why I want y'all to get on here and have this platform to talk about it, because I assume a lot of stuff because y'all don't talk about stuff because y'all feel like y'all have to internalize it because of society. So I just wanted to give that space in that room to see where your head is at when it comes to that, and just kind of break free from those shackles in a way, because that's what they are.
But they are shackles, but do you feel as though all men don't communicate like Sherry said? Because black men, we have a little bit more.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna say abruptly certain things because you think about your situation, because right now what we in now is more women equality, right?
Yeah.
So we raising more women, we're promoting more women, yet the black male can be intelligent and just as talented, but they promoting women in general,
Right.
and we're still at the back end. We're men,
Right.
but right now in the society we're in now, it's about women, right? But black men, we steady trying to go up.
Right.
We still trying to, and so you pulling, and you're like, wait a minute,
I think it's a fear of a black man where where people right now, right, you see it's a more feminist generation, and things like women are coming of age and coming to power, but as black men, we're feared. You know what I'm saying? And you can see throughout history how people have feared us. You know what I'm saying? Through, just constant assassinations, or any groups or political groups that we put together have been destroyed. And you see black women as they come into rise. I feel like in a society world, they fear us, but I want to say they worship black women, but they feel like they can control black women,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
By promoting them, they can control it.
Right.
And so, I don't even mean to get on my Dr. Umar,
No,
but
that's good.
no, but seriously, as you promote a black woman and she starts to make more, right? And you put these, you put the stuff on the table now, she starts to make more than you. You can be very intelligent in corporate America, or you can stuff like that, but they'll be intimidated by you. And so as a black woman starts to make more than you, right? And we start running into these gender roles, and you have the same qualifications now, but it's a feminist generation, or just they're promoting black women more. Now you run into this disproportion, right? Because I have the same credentials, I have the same qualifications, but they won't hire me, right? You know what I'm saying? And now I have to find a whole different way of make my money. So now I have to be a self-entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying, where she can have a nice corporate job and things like that, and then go through entrepreneurship. So I think that's where you see a lot more black men kind of trying to trailblaze their path to entrepreneurship, because we realize that corporate America, it fears us. They're intimidated by us. And a lot of times people won't let you in positions because they know what you do once you get into those positions.
Right.
So,
and to me, it's the strength of a man. Like you, with a black man, you can see strength in a black man, and a lot of people fear that. You know what I mean? Because then they know they lose a lot of power. Because a black man in a position is just not going to just do a job. He's going to do the job, and that and that makes a lot of people fearful.
And that's true too. Like, I never thought about it that way. Like, putting black women in those higher positions is easier to control them. And I think it's because of their woman nature, like because of us being emotional beings. You can always pull on that. You can always, no matter how hard you may try to be as a woman, or strong you may try to be as a woman, that is innate. Like, you are an emotional being. And society, men, corporate America they're smart with that. They know how to like tap into that. And I see it in the workforce all the time. Maybe not like directly towards me, but towards women above me in higher roles, like just how they like position them. And and we don't want to ever, I'll speak for my black woman, it's hard for us to debate because we're gonna look like what? The angry black woman.
Right.
So it's, we don't want to do that, so we hush ourselves. Whereas the man, they ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna step down for nothing. But for the black women, like, we just got into these roles as women and as being black, so we're gonna kind of hush, like, I'm in this, let me be thankful type of thing. So that's important.
And, as soon as all they gotta do is call a woman a B, and emotions will flare, and that's all they gotta do.
Any woman,
Exactly.
woman,
right.
black, white, whatever, any woman.
yeah, I feel like like we really desensitize black men. We're not only like just because you have to. It's just like my hair, right? If my hair grows wild, like people aren't gonna want to take jobs with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We just and we've been conditioned, we've been trained, right? Like I said, we've seen like our great leaders, black male leaders, be assassinated. We've seen our great factions be disseminated. Like, we've seen all of those type of things, and so it starts to it subconsciously starts to weigh on your mind, right? So when you start to see all of the leaders, you know what I'm saying, whether it's it could be the Bill Cosby's, you know what I'm saying, 30, 40 years later, we're gonna come and get you, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got you, champ. It don't matter, the athletes, you know what I'm saying? Eventually you start to see a pattern where, like, it don't matter what I do, they're gonna find something to kind of to place on me. So it just starts to sit in your head. So I think, like, we start, black men start to kind of fall into a shadow of themselves because they don't know who to be. You know what I'm saying? If they are the leaders, or if they do become the man that they're supposed to be, will society fear them? And within that fear, does that, do they take them out of there, or do they do certain things when you become such a strong person or strong man?
And see, so in that we touched on workforce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you basically touched on everything about that, because all that happens in the workforce. You know what I mean? It all happens in the workforce.
So what do you feel? It's kind of touched on gender roles, and not just in the workforce, like in the home. Like, you said it perfectly, how this is the age of women equality. So those gender roles are like evaporating, like the ones that we came from before. The woman was at home taking care of the kids.
Because also spirituality and believing in the Bible and Christianity and all that stuff is evaporating, which is also what's taking those gender roles away, because that's really where the gender roles came from.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's an elevated level of consciousness, right? You know what I'm saying, where women are noticing their power, they are harnessing their power, and they realize they have more power than they ever had before. So it's just a different time. So with gender roles evaporating, does that mean chivalry is evaporating?
Chivalry's not dead.
Chivalry's not dead. We're
No.
not.
All right, I just wanted to make
So-
sure, man. I thought we was headed somewhere. I thought we was headed somewhere.
With somebody.
So they supposed to be over the doors for us.
I just want to know. I just wanted to know,
it
man.
was what we watched on. Remember that podcast we watched
What she said?
where she said,
Oh yeah, she's like, it's not expected, but it's appreciated.
"Yep, it's not
Okay.
like opening the door. It's not expected, but it's appreciated."
Like,
But I'm sorry.
There we go.
What?
Not in my generation.
Right, it's expected. It was expected in my generation. Right, right.
To me, you're not a man if you're not opening the door.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, you're not a man if you're not. I mean, this is your flower. This is your queen. You respect that. You know, no matter how high they go up in society, no matter what, that's your job.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was raised by a single mom, right? So that's my queen. You know, I was taught. It was a song. What was the song? I can't think of the song. About chivalry is dead.
Oh yeah.
I'm the type of guy
Right.
who don't believe
That
that chivalry is dead.
Okay.
Right?
I believe a woman
Right.
should
To
be
be
treated with the utmost respect.
Yeah,
Period.
exactly. So that's what I think about when I understand what you're saying, but that's what I think about as a man, and I try to teach my sons
Right.
and the black males that I encounter,
Right.
hey dude, no, you have to do this. Why do I have to do it?
Right.
And the younger people, why do I have to
And
do
the
it?
thing is, though, Piran, the weird part is that we tell Kendall all the time. He's like, Kendall, you know, a lot of people your age are not
Right.
doing this. You're gonna be a fine wine. You're
Yeah.
gonna be really, you know. But then at the same time, I think Erica told him,
They don't
but they're
care.
not gonna appreciate
Right.
it. You know what
And
I
see,
mean?
that's
There
the
we
part
go.
I.
That's
There
the
we
sad
go.
part.
That's what I'm saying. So as we get to this point with gender roles and the stuff is evaporating and the mindset is changing, and I'm not saying, and what do we necessarily define as chivalry? You know what I'm saying? But as she starts to make more money and she starts to
That's
feel a
a-
little
yeah.
different, you know what I'm saying? She starts to look at you a little different, champ.
Right.
You know, and it's
Right.
like, all right, you
That's-
starting to act real different since you got that 6 figures on you, champ. You know.
As she should, but
it-
no.
you know.
Well, and it depends on what different is. So I was gonna say, like, it's almost like the shift in gender roles emasculates the man, like, not directly, kind of indirectly. Like, women are coming into more power, so men maybe feel like, okay, well, since you making more money, you doing this, like, treat me a little different. Like, men are okay with that. Open the door. Like, it's kind of like.
Open the door.
I mean, but you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Some dudes be like, you know, you got the money, you got the
Yeah.
big bucks, like, cause like it's like they're switching.
Right.
I mean, it's not
Yeah.
maybe not saying women. I don't know. Women are becoming more like men type of thing.
And I don't
And I
want
don't
that.
agree.
I don't want that.
I see that mentality happening.
Yeah,
But
I see
let me
it a
ask
lot.
you this: is it culturally? Is it
It's-
different in
Oh,
each?
no, you know
Think
what?
about your
Oh.
culture.
I like that too.
True.
Because-
Oh.
What are we saying? Because Indians
Right.
Mhm.
or
Yeah, they're
from
keeping.
India,
They're keeping
Yeah.
their.
Say-
Asians,
Yeah, European, anything
Europe,
Middle Eastern.
Right.
Is it cultural?
Right.
Yeah,
Let's
true.
look at that. Is
But
it truly culturally?
we
Right.
say it is probably definitely culture, because coming from not too far from slavery, blacks were eradicated of their culture. Our culture was stripped from us, so we don't have much culture. I feel like a lot of our culture now is socially based. It's based on social media, based on music. So a lot of that has a direct influence on.
I wouldn't
the
say
gender roles and
culture
everything.
eradicated, because I feel like we were culture for so long, right? You know what I'm saying? No matter like what was handed to us, we were culture. You know what I'm saying? We jazz, rock and
Jazz,
roll.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's always been musically influenced, whether it starts from the church, you know what I'm saying? So I want to say we had culture. We don't have a connect to.
Right, that's
right.
that's,
Yeah,
that's
we don't
probably
we
what
don't
it
have a
is. We don't
connect
have that
to it.
direct
And so-
connect. Yeah.
But you know, I talked to Miss Sherry. I think it was another. I said I don't even think we was on slave boats. I think we was already here. I'm under that belief almost at this
Oh my
point.
gosh.
No, I'm seriously. I'm under the belief that because it's so many black people. Granted, it's been 200, 300
Right.
years, but
Right.
it's so many black people across the United States that it's just that, you know, it's black people in Milwaukee, like, or South Dakota, or North Dakota. Like, how'd you even get there? You know what I'm saying? You got all the way from the west end of Africa, and 300 years later, we in Seattle. You know, so I feel like we was already here. It's
very possible.
No,
we wouldn't know.
We wouldn't know. And that's why I say we're just missing a little bit of history. It's like a little 100 years we missing that.
Yeah, that's something happened.
Interesting.
I
never thought of that.
It's way too many black people across the board, like from here all the way from Florida all the way to Washington, Seattle to New York and stuff like that. Granted, you know, and it's going against the tides too, right? You know what I'm saying? So that the boat that they said it's a lot of boats, you know what I'm saying? And not to say we not multiplying, but
we definitely multiply.
I feel like we definitely multiply. I feel like it's way too many people here for us not to have already been here, or for something to not have already been here culturally. You know what I'm saying? The Native Americans were here.
Yep.
You know, so it definitely.
And my thing is, how do you know Africa wasn't trading anywhere with the U.S.?
Right.
Africa could have been trading.
And Africa was
already
very rich. Yeah.
Right.
So it's not to say that we weren't here. It's based on what we read historically and which is a whole nother problem. Teach. It's a whole nother exactly.
Y'all tapping into some things.
Now I wanted to ask you, do we as men, do we have fragile masculinity? Is it toxic masculinity or is it fragile? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because does that make you insecure that your woman makes more?
Some people, I think some men it does. I think it does.
I think it's becoming more accepted.
Is it accepted? Like accepted, or is it just happening?
Or is it
it's a difference? You know, happening and accepted is another thing. Sometimes things can happen, but you don't necessarily accept it. Mm-hmm. Nothing you could do about it.
And then it's a generation. Well, I mean, you may think of it differently versus your mom.
Right. Yeah.
Because you saying it's happening.
Right.
You saying I don't accept it.
Right.
It's happening, but I don't accept it. You accepting it.
I don't know if I'm accepting. I'm trying not to accept it, but then I'm seeing like, well, dang, like, is this what y'all doing? I mean, like, literally people will be, and I hate this joke, and I wish people would stop making it. You know, oh, you're going to be the one making the money. I'll be the stay-at-home dad.
I don't like that.
No, I don't like it. Because, I mean, I'm still stuck in we both can make the money. Like, I don't know, like, I'm okay with making more.
Can we both make the money? You know what I'm saying? You know, we can both make money, but are we going to both make the same amount of money? Right. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't matter.
Right. Does it matter? Is that?
Or should it matter?
That's what I'm saying. Should it matter? Should we be able to just come to the table, and say, "Oh, this is what I make. This is what you make"?
But that's coming with the process of, you know, the female tide. Like, we having to just change things and our views and perspectives on it.
But is it just female? It all comes to all the things we've been discussing: communication, relationship, workplace. You have to really. It's not just one thing. It's a multiple of things, and you have to really say, "Hey, where am I? Who am I going to be in this decade or my lifespan? Where am I? Am I going to follow the tide, or am I going to be my own common man? Common man or woman? You know, what am I going to do? Am I a Morehouse man, or am I going to be a common man?
But see,
I mean, those are the things you have to think about and know who you are.
That's true though, like, because you can have a wife and she can make all the money in the world. She can't cook, clean, and none of that. And you could be at the house and you might actually.
What's wrong with that?
Right.
It's nothing wrong with
that. What's wrong with her not being able to cook? No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Because most men are better chefs than cooks anyway.
Wait, what?
Wait,
what happened?
Most men are
better chefs than cooks. Where did that come from?
Y'all might be.
I can agree with that.
I can agree with that. Slip that in here.
No, I mean seriously, and we talk about gender roles, but right, we want a classical man, but we don't have a classical woman anymore, right? You know what I'm saying? We don't have a woman. Sunday dinner, you know what I'm saying? There's no, we don't hear that anymore. Can you come,
right.
Like, it used to be before we go out, you know, a woman might cook you dinner before you're gonna sound, you know, like,
right.
at least from church or something.
Right.
But we don't.
But remember now, those women that was doing all that cooking wasn't doing all that working like we working these days too. You got to keep in mind those women, that was their job. The kids, the cleaning and the cooking, that was their job. They may have like a little job on the side doing something outside of
They
the
was
house.
working
No.
too.
That not like that.
Not like
like
I understand
that.
what you're saying,
Yeah,
especially
it was
corporate
different.
women and women
Yes,
who are working.
that's stressful.
They working 80 hours like
Right,
you 80 hours.
right.
Yes.
But the point is that I understand what you're saying. Where's the Sunday dinner?
You know,
Because that's just like, why are we not opening the door? I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
road.
that's what I'm saying.
It's the road. We want to cross the road, but then we have certain things we don't want to cross.
Right.
I like Sunday dinner. That's what my grandmother cooked.
But that's
So-
that
but guess
communication.
what?
Yeah.
But
That's
guess
the expectation.
exactly. But who makes Sunday dinner? I do, because I cook in my
But that,
house.
so is
And
that
that's
so
fine.
that's
is that
fine.
is that a rule? Is that still considered chivalry though? Right? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like when we say chivalry, it's always one sided on the man.
Right.
The
Right.
chivalry
Oh,
goes.
right.
The chivalry
Yeah.
go both
It's
ways.
chivalry.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
I always think men.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
That's
No,
true.
that's true.
I mean, so what would be so that's what
Cooking.
That's what I'm saying.
Cooking
And that's
could
what
be-
he's saying. That could be chivalry.
And is it just more
Well,
being? Is chivalry just more being? I wouldn't say just being submissive, but are women as submissive anymore? I don't think that's another. You know what I'm saying? Women exactly.
submissive.
Right.
Oh,
So
such a word,
So
right?
that's interesting you say that. And so like in my dating life, I have learned like men want you to come with something. Men want you to come with some type of money, which I respect and I get, or some type of drive or anything.
Women too, right?
Yeah, no, I'm saying this to say like they want you to kind of come with that, but then they'll be like, oh, but you know, I'll take care of you, type of thing. Like they want you to come this type of
Right.
package, but then they turn around and be like, you know, well, you don't have to work. No, I'm already this way, so I'm gonna keep working. I'm not gonna cook and do that, like all that extra stuff, because I'm already this way. But they want to turn around and say, oh, but I'll take care of you and you cook and do that. How they supposed to leave that life they were leading, where they was in the workforce, they was working 2 jobs, taking care of their own self, and because that attracted the man.
Right.
But now they get you and they're like, oh, but I want you to stay home, tend to the household.
I don't think the ambition attracted them. I think a lot of times as men, we would rather provide for someone who could already provide for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's
Okay.
where you don't feel like
Being
you
used.
trying to like
It's
yeah,
a,
being used
but,
or you
but,
being-
but it ain't- it's also a safety net.
right.
If
Yeah.
I get laid off,
Right.
I know my wife can go take care of
Right,
it.
right,
So-
right.
because she's that woman who's a go-getter just
Right.
like me.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, you want to pamper or
Mhm.
treat your woman very well and say, hey babe, you don't have to, but if you want to, you
Yeah.
can, right? There's a difference.
Right.
You don't have to, but if you saying, but I would like for you
Right.
to cook
Right.
and clean,
Right.
clean, and I will wash your car
Right.
and mow the grass
Right.
Right.
and do
Right.
this. I mean, but that's a communication.
It is a
Right.
communication.
You
and
have-
expectation.
And like you said, open up the briefcase.
Yep.
Tell me what you
Right.
want.
Yep.
But and that's for me. I think it's like that's the trick with men. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, because it's really hard to find. Not hard to find. I wouldn't know. But it's hard. It's hard to find like men who would like who are gonna just openly just take care of you though. But a lot of times when we already see that you have something, we would want to provide that thing, knowing that you know what I'm saying, because you don't need it or nor you don't want it. You know what I'm saying? So we want to go ahead and provide the things that you already have taken care in place. You know, so.
Mm,
Very interesting.
yeah.
But what about the men who just don't want to do none of it?
Oh my goodness.
There's a lot of those.
It is. And do you know that those
But
are
why?
those are the ones that cheat?
And those are the ones that
'Cause
most women like. So
Why?
why is that? That's a question
We
for
can't
women.
help you there. We definitely can't help you there. Y'all gonna have to ask somebody else.
Why? I mean,
I don't.
but looking out there, not just you,
Right.
but looking out there, why is it that they want that
Bums.
guy? That
I
guy.
don't know, but that guy, for whatever reason, he's not coming to the table with much. He does what he wants to do, whatever. But he has this confidence, and
It's a fake
women are
confidence.
attracted to confidence,
Mhm.
and they have this. I don't know why they have this confidence, but they have this confidence.
It's
in
to
them.
overcompensate for the lack thereof.
Yeah.
It's a fake confidence. It's a facade.
Well, it's definitely working
It's
because
working.
it's attracting women to
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean? And they sit up in the house and take the car, and like on the movie Baby Boy, remember?
Right.
They take the car and go drop her off at
Right.
work and use the car all day and come pick her up.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, and that's becoming more common too because women are in these roles,
Exactly.
and it's like they're comfortable.
And
But
women
we,
don't want
we can
that.
say that too, but
But you
what is
think
there
that men
out
are
there?
comfortable?
You know what I'm saying? There's always something out there for them, but what is there necessarily, not to say he could just be a bum or he could just be struggling, having a hard time. Because I didn't definitely, rode and took somebody's car, you know what I'm saying? But that's just because, like, my car might not have worked one day.
I've done it too.
Yeah. We're not going to sit here.
But once they make that a continuous thing,
No,
that's
no,
not-
it wasn't.
and they're not working
No,
towards
no,
nothing.
no,
That's
no,
different.
no.
Right,
Nah.
that's different. Yeah.
But,
That's different. But then on the other hand, we had touched on this before too, where why is it that a woman would not date a guy that works at
Oh, I
McDonald's,
was gonna ask that.
but a man will definitely, if she looks good enough, he don't care where she works.
That's right.
That's
Isn't
right.
that,
Yeah.
that's
So what's
That's weird.
that's how y'all
We
feel?
have hearts. You know what I'm saying? We have
That's
hearts.
What?
That's sensitivity.
It's the sensitivity right there.
They
We
just-
see,
they
no,
just-
seriously, because as men, a lot of men, you can take it, we'll take pride in, like, taking a girl to a strip club, or we take pride in a video vixen, or these different type of girls that don't have nothing going for themselves.
No.
Right.
No, I mean, some men, you know what I'm saying? Some men, no, I mean, a lot of men will take pride in taking care of somebody, you know what I'm saying? But I think that's more control or manipulative type thing. So, but we'll take pride in it. I mean, she looks good.
And that's the thing, another thing, because men are physical, so, when they see somebody that looks good, everything else gets blurred out.
Yeah.
You
Until
know what
they
I mean?
open.
But
I
I'm
mean,
saying, if she willing to work at McDonald's, she clearly got some type of ambition. You know what I'm saying? She got some type of ambition for herself. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of heart to feel like you look good and you can go to work at McDonald's. That takes a lot of heart. It do.
See, that's looking at it totally different.
Yeah, that's a
Seriously.
totally different
Like, I'm
perspective.
serious. Like, if she, let me say,
I
you
just
just
say the fries go with that shit.
Please no. That's true. Men are very physical creatures. So to
Physical
touch
beings.
on sex, you was gonna talk
Right. So sex, and when I say sex, I don't necessarily mean the act of the physical act of sex, but the whole sexuality thing. Because this day and age, sexuality is ridiculous. Everything is based on sexuality. Everything is based on sex. You know what I mean? Everything, clothes and the way you look, and how you dance, and just everything.
Yeah.
And around for you and me back in our days, it was totally different. You know what I mean? Sex was something that happened behind the doors. The way you dressed was, you only person that should see what was under your clothes was the people that you had behind the doors. You know what I mean? And that's not like that now.
I mean, me having two sons and a daughter. So when I see her, if it's too revealing, even when I see my niece, it's too revealing. I don't say nothing.
Right.
But that's a no-no from my standards, right? Because I am a man, right? And if I look at my daughter and I look at you and say,
right,
I'm mad.
Right.
Because if your uncle or your dad are looking at you don't need to be wearing that. I'm like, no.
Right.
Because you'll say to me, women would say sometimes, well, I can wear whatever I want to. But you don't want something. And then when a guy doesn't get a certain answer from you, or he doesn't get the answer, then you get mad. I can wear what I want to. Well, it's provoking.
It's a perception too.
Yeah,
So
you have to
they
be
perceive
careful.
you as this type of a person,
And it's different.
which does not give them the authority to say or treat you a certain way. However, in reality, that's what happens.
That's what happens, and we know that. We know that's what happens. So we try to say, don't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah. And that comes too, though, with the women's movement. We love saying that we want to embrace our sexuality. Like, we want to flaunt what we got, but nobody can touch it, or nobody can fawn after it. But it's like, okay, you putting it out there. Like, I don't really, like, if I do post a revealing picture or something, like, I don't get offended, because it's like, Erica, like, you did that to yourself. But it's like, I know, like, that's not what I want, so I'm not really gonna respond. So I kind of steer through those type of comments and things, but it's a different day and age.
Exactly.
So but it is the perception of it. I don't know, and it's the person.
It's just I'm with Sherry. I'm not saying that it looked bad. I'm not saying. I mean, I know it's a new generation, and I'm fine with that. But as a man, I'm protective of my women.
Yeah.
And what I see as a man, if you had a sister or a niece or a cousin, if you see that and some other guy provokes them, and somebody provoked Erica,
Then
and
you're
you was
in a
out there,
situation.
you in a situation,
Right.
he gonna snap.
Right.
He's not gonna blame you because he respects you. You
Right.
can wear what you want to wear, but you
Putting
cause other
in-
people,
right,
and
that's
you
true.
ready to get down
That's
because you should be allowed to be who you are, but you don't want nobody stepping and talking out of place to that
Yeah.
woman. And that's what we, as men, we very protect.
And then I honestly don't think that the women that dress like that are really the women that are taken home to the moms of these men. Those are not the type of women that these guys want to take home to their moms. These are the type of women, depending on how raunchy it may be. But these are usually the type of women that, they just want to have fun with and,
Right.
Whatever.
But it depends on the man. Exactly.
And his mom, too, I guess.
See,
That's a whole
I'm
nother
gonna go against you because I don't feel like clothes don't go against your personality. Granted, we see a lot more openness with the clothing, but see that's where I asked, like, because I had this conversation with somebody and they'll say, well, that's toxic masculinity because you shouldn't even approach me like that. I think as men, do certain men not have the self-control, you know what I'm saying, that we presenting, just because somebody wears something or they flaunt it, you know what I'm saying. Granted, it's when you look on your phone, it's over and over and over.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like embedded in you every day. Like it's just a show. Everybody's putting on a show every day. So, do we as men do we not have the self-control? Is it like a toxic masculinity for real? Because that's going to be the question. I'm like, well, I should be able to wear what I want and men shouldn't approach me in a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying?
But certain men also like they women who dress. Hey, I'm glad if she was dressed in that and walked down the street with me. Oh yeah, go ahead, look at her. That's me.
Some
Yeah.
men,
Yeah.
like
That's
that.
my
men.
That's my so right. Yeah. So
So
it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it just
it's
depends.
very dependent on the man.
Right.
And the woman as well. You know what I'm saying? How she, because just because you wear something doesn't mean that your personality fits it or that you're that outward type of person just because you wore something.
Right.
Or you might just have a nice body and
I mean, men like to flaunt their bodies too.
Right.
Exactly.
So what
y'all
do you
can go
say?
out with y'all shirts
Exactly.
on.
Right.
And that's why I said that for me. Like, I work out a lot. I don't work out to just, I'm going to put on a swimsuit and I'm going to look good because I worked for it,
Exactly.
So it's like a double standard to an extent because men can flaunt out their biceps, triceps,
And
all of
then
that.
guess what? The thing is about men, they could flaunt all that and don't even be in shape and it be okay.
Right.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't-
too.
you
I
know
mean,
what I
there be
mean?
some, there be
Women
women. No.
can't-
There be women who do the same thing. Now.
That's more recent. That's become really
That's
recent.
real.
That's
really recent.
these
Because I was
women
like,
are
I
very-
know you didn't buy that.
I know. Like, girl, I wouldn't even wear that.
Embracing their sexuality.
Yeah,
Right,
and
exactly,
being
exactly.
happy with themselves.
Yeah.
What's the girl's name? The big girl?
Lizzo?
Lizzo.
Lizzo is
Yeah.
good for
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
And we wrong because we don't want to see that
Right.
sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're embracing yourself, like you said.
I really wish that we just all could just be naked. I really do. I really hate that we have to wear clothes.
Clothes all the
and we
time.
have to-
Especially
I
in
feel like
97
it would take away from the whole over sexuality of things
would.
if we were all naked. That'd be. I mean, that's
That's
what I'm
good.
saying.
It would.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
You
Because
wouldn't worry
everything,
about it.
yeah, you
Right.
see it all the time.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
wouldn't-
surprised social media hasn't done that already. Maybe it is getting to that way, but
No,
everybody's
Let's
still.
just start it, y'all.
Nah,
No.
OnlyFans cut all of that out.
Oh
this
yeah.
week.
So what happened with OnlyFans?
OnlyFans, it's no more like
Oh,
really
porno.
Yeah,
Porno.
It's no
more. Yeah,
Oh.
no more content.
But that's
like
just
that.
that's what they use to get people to join.
Yeah.
Porno, and now they taking it away.
Yeah.
Smart.
It's a very sexualized world, and I mean, I feel like everybody's bait. Everybody's
Yeah.
bait in this
Mhm.
ocean. It's just a
Yeah.
lot, and it's like I said, I used to be offended and just not even offended, just annoyed because it's like that seems like all is on dudes' minds most times. I'm like, dang, like you don't want to know me,
Right.
like, come on
They
now.
don't have-
But like you said,
But
like you said, you saying you don't want to know, but that's the first attraction. Why you
Yeah.
gonna put a guy,
Yeah.
good girl
Right.
in the
Yeah.
fries?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
You looking,
You
right?
right.
But sometimes the fry girl, the minute she open her mouth, you like, oh no.
No wonder.
Right.
Not that anything wrong working at McDonald's,
even
but-
right. But I mean, even women, you can see,
Right.
oh, he's fine. Look how
And
cut,
as soon
and
as
he
you start
opened his
talking-
mouth.
Yep.
I'm done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank
I mean,
you.
Yeah.
Can't have a any kind of quality conversation or anything.
Yeah, so I wanted to tap into one last topic. My favorite, of course, social media. There's notorious pages on there, just a LA boy, where I feel
My
like
boy.
it promotes the divide between men and women. Like all his posts, it's
I'm gonna just say this. Justin LeBoy took my lane because my name's Justin. He's a Scorpio. I like Justin LeBoy.
no.
I like LeBoy.
He just promotes.
We don't know what
He's on social media. He's what's the word they call him now? Social.
Advocate for something.
No.
With content creators or
Whatever he is, all he does is make typed up posts.
Okay.
But it's
Make
just
tweets.
toxic stuff.
I wouldn't say it's not toxic stuff because what you see under a lot of those comments is that's actually how people feel. He just puts it out there. You know what I'm saying? That's really, you know what I'm saying? He might not even generate a lot of those posts, but he just puts it out
Is
there.
it stuff he feels necessary? Maybe it's not even
It's
stuff
some
he
stuff
feels.
that might be closer to him than others, but once you see him post something, the next person you're gonna see a meek mill.
Well, it definitely generates conversation.
Yeah, it generates the
right?
conversation that people have.
But it's just basically posts for the most part about men and women and just how we treat each other. Or
no, but I mean, he sometimes he posts up that women love, and sometimes he posts up that men love.
So it's
you know
not
what I'm
just
saying?
one-sided.
No, it's not one sided at all.
yeah, it's not one sided, but it's
Okay.
still a
It's toxic.
yeah, it's
It's
still
the
a
it's the
divide.
conversation. I feel like for his platform that worked for him. You know, got him his
Right.
podcast, but it just develops a conversation. And what you really find out is when you see somebody repost some Justin LeBoy stuff. Oh, you like, oh, that's how you really feel.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
you know, so it does create. I think it creates a conversation more than it actually creates a divide.
So
Yeah.
it's creating communication.
Right.
People able to communicate.
I don't think it's I think it's
It's not-
deteriorating communication.
No, I think it's creating communication because it's so honest and it's so blunt a lot of times, and it's so real that people actually, you know, they relate to it. You know,
It says, I hate girls that's scared to homie hop. He don't like you no more. I do.
Okay.
Just,
That's
I
not
mean-
bad. I mean, that's his opinion. You know what I mean?
What's another one?
That's not bad. I've never heard the term homie
Homie
hop.
hop.
But
Y'all know what that is?
yeah,
Oh,
when you talk to your friend's friend. I mean, when you talk to
Yeah.
the friend of the guy you was talking to or whatever, right?
yeah. But it's just like, that's not the worst of it. That's the first one I came across.
Oh, okay.
So it just talks about just what he hates about women or what
women hate it.
what
no,
women
it's-
hate about men.
It's a lot of what women hate about men on there too. You know, y'all
I
have
gotta check it out.
no, and
Yeah.
I said, and women repost it. They be retweeting all the stuff they don't like about men or what we.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like
Oh,
we
yeah.
not
It
really
needs something
saying.
more positive,
Yeah, it's not
maybe.
positivity.
Yeah.
Positivity.
Maybe he needs
Oh.
some more positivity.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's
Maybe
Maybe you
straight.
should go on there and say something, Erika.
I
I
do.
will.
She
I
tried
do.
to.
I do go in there.
So that
in the
means
comments.
he's pulling in more than one response.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants.
Right.
That's what
That's
he's
his
trying to try.
purpose.
But
His
I feel
purpose
like-
is to throw it out there to give positive and negative.
Right.
That way his viewers can see both responses and they can decide what category they are in. But
Right.
it's causing conversation.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think you shouldn't let nobody's thoughts. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing about social media. Like people will live off memes, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like people will live off these memes and these quotes on social media. Like you know, they like the key rules of laws to life.
Right.
You know,
Right.
That's
you
what
know
that's
what
what I
They
feel
like
like
that
yeah.
nothing out the Bible,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And I
Don't say
think yeah,
anything out the Bible.
people do grab their intentions from a lot of the stuff that he may post or
Yeah,
stuff
and
like
they be
that.
like, oh, so this means this. Like,
Right.
it's just
Yeah.
one
Wow.
track.
But
Right.
it's so weak minded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
it's very weak-minded.
you know, you
Right.
don't want nobody like, oh, da, da, da. Like, it's
Right.
cool sometimes. Like, you know, you might relate to something. You might send it to your significant other. Like, oh, look what he posted. That's
Right.
funny. That relate, you know, because that's relatable to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
what happens in our relationship.
You just got it. It's just really difficult though with social media now. Social media will end up controlling your thoughts.
Right.
And you got to be mindful of that. You know what I mean? You read it and you just think, oh, I'm just reading, I'm just browsing.
Nope.
But
It's
before
seeping
you know
into
it,
your
yes,
subconscious.
it's seeping
Yeah.
in, and it becomes who you are. And then you have all these thoughts and all these things that you don't even know where they came from, but it becomes who you
Yeah,
are.
you gotta be careful what you
You gotta be
digest. Like
careful.
we take in way more information ever
Yes.
than before.
Yes.
And a lot of it is false information.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We're just being fed false
Yep.
information
Yeah.
repeatedly.
What people think, other people think.
Right.
Mhm.
You know?
So we're not really
Go
our
to the
authentic
Bible.
selves. Yeah.
All right, game time. All right. So all we're doing basically here is testing your knowledge with Battle of the Sexes quiz. Okay. So we're just gonna ask the men a few questions, just things that you may know, you may not know. It doesn't matter. We're just gonna get your answers, and then we'll ask.
Whatever
The
answer
women.
we give.
Yeah. I mean, I got options.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it's multiple choice. Okay. So let's start. Do you guys know what pilling is? Pilling. Do you know before I give you multiple choice? You do, Justin?
Yeah, chemical peeling.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I know when girls get a chemical peel on their face.
Yeah, facial mask made from vitamin E pills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you know that, Prime?
No.
I know, me neither. Okay. Okay.
We in tune, Prawn. Don't worry, we in tune.
right.
What size is a tall latte at Starbucks?
Grande.
It's a start with a B.
No.
Vente.
No, just like what size? Like at
Oh.
Starbucks, it's called a tall latte. What is that equivalent to? Regular. I mean, what size?
He was knowing
Small,
the other
medium,
names.
large,
I
extra
was
large.
like medium.
You said a small latte?
It's
Or-
it's
It's
either
the
Tall,
It's the
tall
grande.
latte.
it's a tall latte.
Tall latte. I want to say it's a medium.
Medium? I mean, possibly. We'll get to the answers at the end. But I think we got to answer this something. Okay. A woman's shirt that extends just above the natural waistline is called.
Natural waistline, just
You
above
should know
crop.
this.
Yeah, crops. I know that.
Why does Justin know this? See, this is
Good.
he knows this stuff because of social media. I'm sorry.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Good.
Okay, fuchsia is what?
A purple.
No.
Right. No, it's. I mean,
It is a
It's
color.
purplish.
It
yeah.
is. It is a color. Oh, I know that answer. They probably do too.
Okay, what kind of facial piercing resembles a birthmark?
What is it called? It's like, or it's a name of somebody.
It's a piercing, no?
Yeah.
Remembers a birthmark?
Mm-hmm.
Resembles a birthmark.
It's somebody. It's somebody's name.
We didn't know that.
If you gave them the options, they would know.
The Rihanna, the Monroe, the Rook.
Or maybe not.
Yeah.
It's the Monroe, because you know she has
Yes, I thought
the,
it was the mold.
right.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think it is. I don't know.
The
Yeah.
Chinese art of arranging objects for harmonic flow is
Feng shui.
yes. That one was easy.
Come on, Piran, where you at?
Hey, I'm not even on social media.
Okay, you got this one.
What hairstyle is short with hair around the jaw level?
Around the jaw.
Around the jaw level. What a temp.
No.
Taper.
No.
For women, it's a women's
Oh, for
hair.
women.
Oh, Bob.
Okay.
I am
Yeah, you gotta say women, you gotta say women, yeah.
We like,
When you said the jaw level, I was
I
like,
don't know how to say that word.
Espadrilles? What are espadrilles?
give us
I was saying
options.
wrong.
Sandals.
It's well, you should give them the options.
Oh, you had to say it the Spanish way. You said espadrilles.
All right. Okay, let's see how y'all do.
Justin, I told you you had the game.
Yeah, I told you.
I'm like, he know.
Oh, pilling is not a facial mask.
Oh, really?
Pilling is when small balls of fiber form on your clothes. Oh, the little beady
BB.
beads.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
name of it.
I didn't know
Wow.
that.
I didn't know that either.
Was it a PILL or was it
It's
P?
PIL.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. That
Yeah.
makes
Oh, you're
sense.
thinking it was PE.
PE,
Yeah.
All right. The size a tall latte is actually the second smallest, not a medium.
Okay. The second,
Second
small.
smallest?
Mhm.
So it's tall, or is it vente? I can't remember. Grande is a medium though.
Right.
I don't know. I don't drink it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Crop top was right, of course. What was the other one?
The
fuchsia
fuchsia
is a color,
Mhm.
of course. And the Monroe. And
Feng shui. I got the
The
bob.
bob. Sandals, I gave you that. And that was it, right?
Okay.
All right. We got some women questions.
So, see, y'all can ask the.
But y'all can skip some, because some of them just look
I'll
stupid.
let you go ahead
For women, okay. What's the name of the new Avengers movie?
Avengers. I don't know.
Y'all want the choice?
Yes, I do.
All right. Age of Ultron.
No.
Age of Darkness. Battle for Ultron.
Age of Darkness.
I don't know.
Okay, we can go with Age of Darkness.
Did you put
Do
it?
y'all know?
Did you press it?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I pressed
Okay.
it. Okay, where would you find a fifth wheel?
In the trunk.
Is that one of the options?
Options.
Yeah, that's one of the options.
Okay.
Y'all want all the options?
No, this is wrong.
Okay, it's a truck.
Okay. All right. What Olympic event did Bruce Jenner win in the 1970s?
Oh, he was a runner.
Y'all
Oh,
want
yeah.
y'all want the options?
Yeah.
Downhill skiing,
No.
weightlifting,
No.
decathlon.
Decathlon. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Oh, this is a good one right here. When is electric shave applied?
When is
electric shave applied?
Okay, give us the options.
Before shaving, after shaving, if you nick your skin.
Electric slave.
Yeah,
I mean,
the electric shave. That's crazy because Mr. Erika,
he's a barber, not me.
Okay.
Electric shave.
Think of the process.
Yeah.
What is it? I mean, don't tell us.
No, we're not. We're gonna wait. Which
We're
one
gonna
you
say.
want
We're
to
gonna
pick?
say.
We're gonna say when you nick yourself.
When you nick yourself. All right. That's
Go ahead.
aftershave. Little dents in a golf ball are called.
Oh, I know this.
I want the.
No, wait. Give me a second.
There's
Dimples.
a name for
I
them?
think
Yes.
it's dimples.
Dimples is there.
Mhm.
Studs and teeth.
Dimples, sure.
What's the last one?
Teeth.
I think it's dimples.
We're not gonna do no more Avengers.
Thank you.
What is the all cotton striped suit mini?
Oh, I know this.
Mini-
Seersucker.
Yeah, I just guessed it.
Remember we went to that concert.
What color is the number 4 ball in pool?
Oh my lord.
I know this.
I know
Wait, y'all
8.
know it?
Yeah.
I know 8.
I don't
I know
I don't
1.
play pool.
What for? Number 4?
Number 4.
I'm gonna say
Green.
purple.
You didn't say what color, did you?
Yeah, he said
Yeah,
purple.
what color?
Okay.
I said purple.
Okay.
Purple.
Purple's on there?
Yeah.
Okay. Was green on there?
No.
Okay, then it's purple.
All right. What are you shopping for if you are looking for tap out?
A beer. No, what's the options?
Deodorant, clothing, foot powder.
Foot powder.
Yeah, definitely food powder. Oh,
Okay.
it's probably beer.
It's probably
No, it's deodorant, clothing, foot powder.
Oh,
foot powder.
yeah.
All right. In golf, a hole-in-one is called a.
I know that.
Isn't it a hole in
It's
one?
a hole-in-one. In golf.
Y'all want the options?
Yes.
Yeah.
Birdie, eagle, ace.
Oh, dang.
Birdie or ace?
A hole in
No,
one
birdie
is an
is-
ace. No, tennis is ace, right? Wait a minute, hold on. A hole in one.
Which
Let's
one
say
y'all want?
birdie.
y'all want?
We're gonna say
Which one?
birdie.
Y'all want birdie?
I think it's an ace.
Which one y'all
Which
want?
one y'all want?
A birdie.
She's trying to look and like.
I don't think it's birdie, but
Oh
I
no.
think it's ace.
it might be eagle. Who knows?
Yeah.
How old? Hold on, we're not gonna do that. Who won the 2015 NCAA men's basketball tournament?
2015.
2000. Kendall
It was
in
either.
school then?
It was. It was
You
either
want the options?
Kansas.
Nope.
2000.
You close.
Oh,
though.
NCAA.
Give me the options.
Duke, Wisconsin, Kentucky.
Kentucky. Kentucky.
Okay, Kentucky.
Okay.
How you just ruling? Your answer rules all
Generational
generational
What is
differences.
it? What do you want, Erica? Duke, Wisconsin, Kentucky.
We gonna go with Kentucky.
I don't even know. I don't make a difference.
All right. Ooh, this is a good one. What color is the positive terminal on most car batteries?
Oh, that's easy.
That's
You
easy.
know you could.
Yeah, negative is red.
Oh wait, pause. Yellow.
Black.
Yellow.
Oh.
What kind of car battery is that?
But she wants.
She got an electric car. I plug in.
Positive is black.
DJ just showed me this other time.
Positive is black?
Yes.
All right. How many hairs are on Homer Simpson's head?
3.
Why do you know that?
I'm just talking.
Oh.
I don't know how it's the options.
Homer Simpson?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 2 or 3.
What are the options?
2, 3, 4.
I say 2. You can say a different thing.
Yeah.
I
You
said a
said
different
three.
thing.
You
We're
said
gonna go
three.
with 3.
I say 2.
All right.
We're gonna go with 3.
Okay.
We have to be a
And,
team.
how old are Thoroughbreds in the Kentucky Derby?
Is option 12?
No.
Where'd you get 12 from?
You got 2, 3, and 7.
7.
They're 2. Come on, you got the last one.
Oh my God.
Which one is
Which
it?
one is it?
Two.
2? Okay.
You giving it?
She took the last one.
You done 28 of them.
Alright.
Erica, you say yellow
How
for
you tally it
positive.
Go.
I'm trying to.
You push answer.
You gotta answer all the questions.
Yeah,
I'm
you do.
finished.
You
Yeah,
gotta
hold on,
answer.
I think I missed
Yeah.
it.
Dang.
I'm gonna have to give it back up.
We're
Hold
gonna
on.
be. I wonder what we're gonna be wrong.
Maybe
We
not.
answered a lot of questions.
Jesus.
Yeah, we answered more than y'all.
That's an apple.
Yes.
Oh, he got an Android here.
It don't have nothing to do with it.
It's an apple.
Yeah, wrong. Alright. Alright, bet. It just won't scroll down.
I know.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay.
Oh God. Oh,
Okay. Y'all scored a 29.
well, no, because some of the questions.
All right, it's like
That's
2 questions
still
y'all
low.
answered.
Nah, what?
Yeah.
So we missed a
100?
lot.
Yeah, so for what's the name of the new Avengers movie? It depends on when Age of Ultron.
Oh yeah.
It's an old quiz.
Oh
Where would you find the fifth wheel?
In the
yeah. Did we get that right?
In the trunk.
On the back of a truck.
Right. The fifth wheel would be on the back, like a Jeep is on the back.
Uh-huh.
A truck.
Fifth wheel, not a spare.
Right.
It's
Mm.
still a
Fifth
wheel,
wheel.
ain't
No, fifth wheel.
Wheel.
it? Yeah, that
Wheel,
makes
because it's just a
sense.
tire.
We
in the
should have
trunk.
listened. I should have asked for the options.
Okay, what Olympic event did Bruce Jenner win in the 1970s? Decathlon.
Okay, good.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
When is electric shave applied?
Oh.
Yeah, y'all got that wrong.
What
It's
was-
before shaving.
Oh.
It make the hair stick up so it's easier to shave.
Mhm.
It makes sense.
Yeah, little dents in a golf ball are called dimples.
Okay, good.
We didn't answer that one. And what is the all cotton striped suit many men wear in the summer?
I got that right.
Yes, sir. Sucker.
Okay, thank you.
What color is the number 4 ball in pool?
What color?
Purple.
Woo!
Yeah.
I remember that.
What are you shopping for if you're
Oh,
looking for tap out?
what is it?
Clothing.
What
Tap
is
out
this?
is like the, if you ever go to you remember like Gold's Gym and
I
stuff
know,
like that?
yeah.
The tap out
Tap out
gear.
gear.
Is the boxing
Oh,
gear.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Dang.
in golf, a hole in one is called an ace.
Ah.
And hold on. How old are Thoroughbreds in the Kentucky Derby? 3, not 2.
Yeah.
Or 7, 3.
And
I remember
then
that.
who won the 2015 NCAA tournament? Duke.
Yep.
So there's 2 answers that I got right there. We didn't go with.
How many?
This is becoming battle of generations.
Oh, and what color is the positive terminal on most car batteries?
What
It's
is
not
it?
red, is it?
It's red.
Yeah.
The positive?
It's red.
Oh, but that's the one that electrocutes you, right?
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
positive
if
or
you-
electric. Yeah,
yeah.
the real. That's the red one.
How many hairs are on Homer Simpson's head? 2.
I got that right. Dang, that was terrible.
I think we won that one.
We didn't ask us any questions. We was trying to spare y'all.
Oh my goodness.
The moral of the story is there is many differences between men and women.
As it is between generations.
Yes. Well, thank y'all for coming and being on Generation Conversation. We had a
Yes,
great
yes,
time,
yes,
great
thank you
topic,
very much.
great insight. We appreciate you all. Any last words, guys?
Words of wisdom.
Be with the girl who likes you.
Whoa.
That's real.
That's
Yeah,
real.
that's real.
That's real. I
That's
know.
interesting.
It is interesting.
What about you?
I don't have any. Communication is key
Mhm.
in anything, and we have to know who we are going forward as an individual.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. I just want to shine light on suicide awareness. I want to talk about real quick just being intentional in your relationships with others, not getting so caught up in your own life that you forget to check in on your loved ones. Be there, be present when you can. I know COVID has made it extremely difficult, but it's how many seconds does it require to take a text, make a text? Not even 2. So just be intentional, love everybody, always leave with a kind word. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in.
Thank you.
We appreciate y'all. We love y'all.
Love you.
Peace.
We're out.
Bye.